Part 1. A train ride, a chance, a new beginning. My name is Arya, and I want to tell you about how I started learning English. This is my story. It was a warm summer day. I was on a train, sitting near the window. I looked outside and saw the trees, the sky, and people waiting at train stations. I felt quiet, but inside, I was thinking about something big. I wanted to speak English. I didn't know many words, and I could not speak fluently, but I had a dream. Two women were sitting across from me. They were talking in English. I didn't know them, and I didn't understand most of what they said, but I knew they were speaking English. I listened carefully. Their voices were kind. They looked happy and relaxed. I wanted to talk to them, but I felt nervous. What if I made a mistake? What if they didn't understand me? Then I told myself, Arya, you must try. This is your chance. I smiled and said, Hello, I'm learning English. The women looked at me and smiled back. One of them said, That's wonderful. I was so happy. My heart was beating fast, but I spoke slowly and said a few more simple sentences. I want to speak English. I am a student. My words were short, but they understood me. We talked for about 10 minutes. I told them I liked English and wanted to be better. They told me they were from England. They were going home after a work conference. Before they left the train, one woman gave me her phone number and address. She said, You can visit us in England if you want. I was so surprised and thankful. I said, Thank you so much. We said goodbye, and they got off the train. That moment changed my life. After the train ride, I went home and thought about everything. I felt proud. I spoke English with real people. Even though my English was not perfect, they listened. I decided to work hard. I wanted to speak better. I wanted to understand more. From that day, I started studying English every day. I watched short videos with English subtitles. I listened to English songs, especially the Beatles. I read simple English books. I used a dictionary to understand new words. I didn't stop. I also made something special for myself. I called it my victory journal. Every day, I wrote one good thing I did in English. It could be something small, like, Today I learned 5 new words, or I said hello to someone in English. This journal helped me feel strong and happy. It showed me that I was making progress. After 6 months, I made a big decision. I decided to go to London and study English at a real school. I saved money, made a plan, and traveled alone to a new country. I was nervous, but also excited. I wanted to learn more. I wanted to live in a place where people spoke English every day. On my first day at school, I met many students from different countries. Some were from Brazil, Japan, and Korea. I also met my teacher. She was young, friendly, and had a warm smile. She said, Welcome to class. Here, we don't use textbooks. We speak. We listen. We live in English. I was surprised. No textbooks, no grammar books. My teacher explained that the best way to learn a language is to use it. She said, When you were a baby, you didn't study grammar. You listened, and you talked. That's what we will do. I felt so happy to hear that. I don't like grammar books. I like speaking and listening. In our first class, we talked about ourselves. We said where we came from, what we liked, and why we wanted to learn English. Later that day, I made another tool for myself. I put sticky notes on my wall. Each note had a new English word or sentence. I looked at the words every day. My room became a small English world. That was the beginning of my English journey. I was not perfect, but I was brave. I had a goal, and I took the first step. It all started with one small word, hello. Part 2. Tools that transformed my English. In my English class, I met a girl named Monica. She was from Italy. When she spoke English, it was clear, smooth, and beautiful. She did not stop to think. Her sentences came naturally. I was surprised. I wanted to speak like her. One day I asked her, How did you learn to speak English so well? Monica smiled and said, I used 3 tools: reading, shadowing, and thinking aloud. I had never heard of shadowing before. Monica explained that shadowing means listening to someone speak English and repeating their words right after them. I wanted to try it. That evening, I went to my room and searched for an English video online. I chose a short video with simple English. I played one sentence, then I repeated it out loud. I did not stop to think. I just listened and copied. At first, it was difficult. My mouth felt tired. I could only do it for 5 minutes, but I felt something new. I was practicing like a musician. I was training my mouth and my brain together. The next day I tried again, and again. It became easier. I started to enjoy it. After shadowing, I also tried thinking aloud. This was a strange idea for me, but I wanted to improve. Thinking aloud means saying your thoughts in English while you do simple things. When I walked to school, I said to myself, I am walking to class. The sky is blue. I feel excited today. At first, it felt silly. I was talking to myself like a child. But soon I noticed something. My English sentences became faster and more natural. I did not have to translate from my language. I started to think in English. That was a big step. One day at school, our teacher asked us to find a part-time job in London. I went to a cafe and asked if they had work. They said yes. I started my new job on Thursday. On my first day, a man came to the counter and spoke to me. I could not understand him. I felt nervous and sad. I called my boss. She helped me and served the man. Later, she told me he is from Scotland. He speaks with a Scottish accent. It is okay. You are still learning. I was surprised. I thought my English was not good enough. But she told me that accents are just different ways of speaking. She said, you can learn to understand them with time. That gave me hope. My boss also showed me something important. One day, 2 women came into the cafe. Their English was very basic. My boss spoke to them slowly and used short sentences. Coffee? Sandwich? Yes, no? The women smiled. They understood. They felt comfortable. I saw that using simple English is not a weakness. It is a way to help others. I wanted to do the same. At home, I made a daily routine. In the morning, I read a short story in English. I chose books with easy words and good stories. After lunch, I did shadowing for 15 minutes. I used videos with clear pronunciation. In the evening, I spoke to myself in the mirror. I called it mirror talk. I looked at myself and said, you are learning. You are improving. Keep going. It helped me feel strong and brave. On weekends, I joined an online group of English learners. We met once a week and spoke in English. Sometimes we played games. Sometimes we talked about food, travel, or school. We made mistakes, but we laughed and learned together. I also started writing short messages to myself every night. Today I learned 5 new words. I spoke with a new customer. I listened to a podcast. Step by step, I saw changes. I could speak longer sentences. I understood more when people talked. I felt more confident at work. I was not afraid of accents anymore. I knew I still had a lot to learn, but I also knew I had the right tools. Reading, shadowing, and thinking aloud were not just methods. They were part of my life now. These tools helped me grow. They gave me power. They turned my fear into progress. They made me believe that I could really speak English. And for the first time, I believed it with all my heart. Part 3: Mistakes, Growth, and the Joy of Giving Back. One day in class, I raised my hand and said, sometimes I want to speak English, but I forget a word. Then I stopped talking. My teacher smiled and said, that is okay, Arya. If you don't know one word, try to describe it. Use simple words. People will understand you. I remembered this advice. A few days later, I was at work in the cafe. A customer asked me a question and I didn't know the word key. I forgot how to say it in English. But instead of staying silent, I said, It's a small thing. You use it to open the door. The customer smiled and said, "Oh, a key." I was happy. I used the words I knew, and I was understood. That was a big moment for me. In our class, we often talked about our fears. Many students were afraid of making mistakes. I was the same. I didn't want to look stupid. But our teacher always said, making mistakes is not bad. Mistakes are part of learning. One time, a new student named Sophia joined our class. She was from Argentina. On her first day, she said, "I don't think I have a talent for languages." Our teacher looked at her kindly and said, "You already speak your native language, right? That means you have talent. If you learn one language, you can learn another." That made us all think, maybe we don't need to be perfect. Maybe we just need to keep trying. I stopped comparing myself to others. Some students spoke faster. Some had better grammar. But I had my own story. I was getting better, one step at a time. I created something new to help myself. I called it my English box. Every day I wrote a small note and put it in the box. Sometimes I wrote a new word, sometimes a sentence, sometimes a feeling. Today I was brave. I said something funny in English. I understood a joke. Every Sunday I opened the box, made some tea, and read all my notes. It was a quiet time full of peace and joy. After many months of learning, my last day at the English school came. I felt sad to leave, but I also felt proud. I gave my classmates my email and said, "If you ever need help with English, you can write to me." I said goodbye to my teacher with tears in my eyes. She said, "Arya, keep going. You have everything you need now." 1 year later, I started teaching English in my country. My students are beginners. They feel the same fear I felt. They are shy, they make mistakes. But I tell them, "I understand you. I was like you, you can do this." I use all the tools I learned in London. I teach my students how to read simple stories, how to do shadowing, and how to think aloud. I also ask them to write in journals, to speak in front of mirrors, and to smile when they say something in English. Teaching helped me grow more. When I help others, I remember my own journey. I know what it feels like to be afraid. I know how good it feels to understand and be understood. I know that learning English is not just about words. It is about courage. It is about connection. Now, English is not just a subject for me. It is part of my life. It is how I meet people, how I share my story, and how I give back. I still learn new words every week. I still make small mistakes, but I no longer worry. I just keep going. My journey started with one small word, hello. That word changed my life. And now I teach my students to say hello too, with confidence, with hope, and with a smile. Arya's story began with a simple dream to speak English. She had very few words and a lot of fear. But she had one important thing, courage. On a train, she saw 2 women speaking English. That moment changed her life. She didn't wait. She didn't hide. She said hello. From that day, she worked hard every single day. She read short stories. She listened to music. She used new methods like shadowing and thinking aloud. She also created her own ways to learn, like the Victory Journal, the Word Wall, the Mirror Talk, and the English Box. She didn't wait for perfect English. She used what she had and kept going. Arya made mistakes. She forgot words. She didn't understand accents. She felt nervous and shy, but she never gave up. Her teacher taught her to focus on communication, not perfection. Her friends showed her that we all learn differently. And Arya found her own way to grow, slowly, patiently, and with joy. In time, Arya became more than just a student. She became a teacher. She helped others who were afraid, just like she had been. She taught with kindness and care, using everything she had learned. She gave back. Her journey is a powerful reminder for us all. You don't need to be perfect to start. You just need to begin. The deep lesson from this story is simple. Mistakes are not bad. They are signs that you are learning. Don't be afraid to speak. Don't be afraid to try. If you wait until you're perfect, you will wait forever. But if you try now, step by step, you will grow. Slowly, you will become the English speaker you dream to be. So today, take a deep breath, say something in English. Write one new sentence, read a short story, do a shadowing practice. Talk to your reflection, your journey starts now. And if you listen to this story until the end, congratulations! You have already improved your English listening and understanding skills. We are proud of you. If you enjoyed this story, please subscribe to our channel. It helps us create more free English stories to support your learning, and if you feel this helped you, please consider donating. We are working hard every day, without sponsors, to bring high-quality content to learners like you, from the heart and for free. Your support helps us continue this journey together. Thank you.